Hi Taurus, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your June 2022 tarot reading. Thanks to those of you who liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic cross-spread as always, and also pulled the 4 agreements, Wisdom of the Oracle, and Mudra card for you guys. We're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus should be as far as that goes. So let's see what we get. Alright, so we have 2. So second house for you guys is actually Gemini, and that represents possession, self-worth. It's the house that Taurus naturally rules as well. So yeah, makes sense there to be focus on your finances this month for sure, as far as we're going to have a lot of Gemini energy as we move through June. We also have Jupiter, and Jupiter actually will be in Aries all of June, which is actually your 12th house of spirituality, blind spots, even mental health as well. And more Gemini energy. So yeah, looks like you guys are definitely going to have a focus on finances this month. But of course, I think there will also be that blend of communication as well, given that that's what Gemini represents. So we'll keep those in mind as we go through the main spread. Okay, in the main situation position, we have the Devil, which is Capricorn energy, so could definitely be relation to finances and your career as far as that goes. And then challenging that, we have 2 cards. We have the 3 of Cups and the Knight of Swords. So really what I'm seeing with this could just be saying that you're really bogged down with work right now. You could just be heavily focused on it, maybe feeling like you can't even take some time away from your work. But of course, the challenge there is you might have a lot of your friends reaching out to you, hey, let's go hang out, right? Let's do this, let's do that. Especially if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, right? Summer's starting up. You could just be feeling a lot of energy where people just want to be out and about. And you could just feel like you have way too much work that you need to get done. So that could be the pull, where the part of you might have that desire to actually go out and join them for all those things, but you might feel like, I don't know, I really need to get this work done first. Alright, in the foundation position, we have the Page of Pentacles. So yeah, and this could point to at least partially why you feel that's the case, because here we see, if we look at that artwork, if the camera will cooperate, that pentacle is like just out of his reach. Well, there we go. So yeah, you could see the pentacle is just out of his reach a little bit. So you might feel like whatever this financial goal you might have is just out of your reach. So it could just be one of those things where you feel like you're close to the finish line, right? And you might not want to get distracted from getting that goal by all these outside distractions coming your way. All right, past position, we have the Queen of Pentacles. So this is Capricorn energy here as well. For some of you, this could just be saying that you might be fearing a repeat cycle, right? Because maybe in the past you did spend a lot of time hanging out with friends, and you might feel like that actually has you behind, right? To where you might have actually feel like you've taken a step back. So maybe in the past you were feeling like you were in that Queen of Pentacles phase, and now you're struggling to get to that Page of Pentacles level. So for some of you might feel like you've already gone through a setback, and possibly because you were, spending too much time with friends instead of working. All right, in the present position, we have the Knight of Pentacles reversed, Virgo energy, Page of Cups, and Judgment. So yeah, I feel like this is saying that this is definitely a theme that you're going to have to look at this month for sure. The main theme that I'm feeling from this could just be saying that the key is to find a balance, right? Like if it seems like it's saying that if all you do is work and you constantly decline any invitations for socializing, then it might be too far over to one end, right? Or on the flip side, if you completely abandon your work and just constantly go out all the time, then that's going to be the opposite end of the pendulum in a negative way too. So I feel like this is saying that yes, you are being called, at least temporarily, I feel like you are being called to actually leave the work behind for a little bit, right? With this Virgo energy coming up in reverse. Page of Cups could just be saying go out and enjoy yourself for a bit, right? Could just be saying that it's a timing thing where it's like, okay, you know what, you might need to unwind. I mean, we did, the time recording this, we're pretty much under the full moon eclipse in Scorpio energy, which is intense. You guys had the new moon eclipse earlier, right at the end of April. So between the eclipse energies, Mercury retrograde still going on as well. Could just be saying that there's a lot going on. So at the very least, you might need to take a little break from that alone, right? And now your 12th house is going to have a ton of energy in June as well, with Jupiter and Mars being in there. So could just be a bit of a low energy cycle anyway, to where at least temporarily taking a bit of time to enjoy yourself might be the key. In the near future position, we have the Four of Cups, Cancer energy, and the Ten of Cups, Pisces energy. So Pisces energy representing your house of friendships, and then fourth house, or excuse me, Cancer energy, Four of Cups representing your third house communication. Could just be saying that the offers might not seem appealing to you initially too, right? So you might get into offers from people, hey, come out here, come out there, and it could just be saying that, yeah, in the moment they might not seem appealing, but if you actually do get yourself out there and actually partake in these events, you actually will find that you'll enjoy yourself quite a bit, possibly even meet other people in the process as well. So yeah, I feel like that's primarily it, right? Like where you don't want to completely abandon your work at all. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, if that's all you're doing, right, and you're like, oh no, I don't want to go out, right? That could be too far on the other end, and then that might drain you as well. All right, the position of your influence in the situation, we have the Two of Pentacles. So Capricorn energy here. A lot of Capricorn energy coming up. For you guys, that's ninth house energy too. So it could just be telling you to look at things from a higher perspective when it comes to how you interact with your work life, right? Because like I said, I get it, right? Especially if you feel like, okay, I've already taken a step back a bit. So the last thing I want to do is repeat that cycle and fall back even more. But at the same time, if you feel like you're almost overcompensating now, right, it could just be saying the key is to find that balance. So like, okay, well now, maybe yes, you were a little bit slacking too much when it comes to your work. Now you're going a little bit too over the top with it. Try to find that balance. All right, in the environment position, we have the King of Swords, Aquarius energy, and the Ace of Cups. So yeah, seeing these two things here, I feel like this is saying that through getting out, right, maybe talking with others, interacting with others, you might actually get a fresh idea too, and you might come away from that feeling more inspired to actually re-engage with the work you do have to get done. So, I mean, it could just be as simple as saying take a long weekend, right, a 3-day weekend. If that's not already in your plans, for example, it could be something as simple as that, where you just take a little bit of extra time away, and you might come away from that feeling rejuvenated. This is your 10th house of career here, and yeah, that's what I primarily feel like it's saying, that, you know, taking a little bit of time away, give your mind some time to clear a little bit. It's actually going to give you some fresh ideas that'll reinvigorate you as you move forward. All right. In the hopes or fears position, we have the King of Pentacles. So this is actually the court card for Taurus, right? So could this be saying that you want to embody all that you're meant to, right? So this is where you want to be. Like I said, it looks like you're at the page right now from the looks of things. You were at the Queen at one point, right? Obviously, it looks like you were working toward getting to the King of Pentacles level. Feel like you suffered a setback, right? So now you're like, you know what? I don't want to fall back into that cycle. So could just be leading to you guys pulling back from that. But yeah, it looks like this is where you want to get back to, right? Which makes perfect sense. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Nine of Cups, which is Pisces energy, and the Five of Pentacles, which is Taurus energy. So yeah, again, I feel like this is saying the balance, right? Because the Nine of Cups could be a very indulgent energy, right? And just waiting for things to come to you. And then I feel like that's saying that, yes, if you do go over the top, right, you might end up feeling like you're in that Five of Pentacles position. But on the flip side of that, right, if you're already feeling like this and, you know, like just plugging away at work constantly, feeling like it's wearing you down, then the key might actually be to take a little bit of time away and enjoy yourself. So, yeah. And like I said, with all the energy buzzing through your 12th house, makes sense too if you do just feel like it's hard to push forward right now. But I feel like it's saying to definitely find that balance, right? Like I said, no judgment there, right? You might have been too far to one end of the spectrum before. Now you're trying to overcompensate for it. Now you're back too far to the other side. Try to find that middle ground. And the bottom of the deck, we have the Seven of Pentacles. So yeah, you might even feel that, right? Like you're putting in a lot of work, but you feel like the growth is getting smaller and smaller. So that could be another key. That it's like, okay, well, just take a little bit of time away to refocus, right? And just remember that it took time for these to grow as well, right? So it could just be saying, all right, if you've already planted those seeds, step away from them for a little bit and give them that time to grow. And beneath that, we actually see the Lovers, which could just be saying that during Gemini season, you might actually experience that some things get worked out behind the scenes a little bit for you. So, yeah, like I said, you have to be honest with yourself in that regard. If you've already been completely slacking on work, then it could just be pointing to you to say that, hey, if you stay on that path, you could end up in the Five of Pentacles. But on the flip side, if you're overly focused on work, then the message seems pretty clear that, okay, take a step away from that for a little bit, right, and enjoy yourself some. Then you come back and you actually feel re-energized, and it'll be even easier to tackle those goals at that point. Whereas you might view it as, oh, if I step away, I'm going to fall back. All right, so moving on to your Four Agreements card, we have be impeccable with your word, replace fear with love. Okay, let's see if we can get that to focus better. Okay, it says the human mind is like a fertile ground where seeds are continually being planted. When you are impeccable with your word, your mind is no longer fertile ground for the words that come from fear. Your mind is only fertile for the words that come from love. So yeah, at the very least, the fear, like I said, fear of loss. I feel like if you do step away from your work, you might feel like, okay, I'm going to fall back. And like I said, for a lot of you, you might have already experienced that in the past, so it makes perfect sense if you feel that way. But I feel like the response to that happening in the past, this could just be saying that now you're overly focused, and that's not exactly the desired place to be either. So finding that middle ground. All right. Your Wisdom of the Oracle card, we have Unfinished Symphony. There's the artwork, and the number is 10. So we'll see what this has to say. And seeing that makes me think of the fact that, of course, at the time of recording this, we have the Mercury retrograde. It's still technically in Gemini, but it's going to move back into your sign, and it'll wrap up there too. So yeah, could definitely be bringing things back up from the past. And like I said, for a lot of you, it just appears to be primarily this cycle around the work-life balance. Okay, the essential meaning says unfinished business, an incomplete lesson, lack of closure, the need to make amends. The Oracle's message. This is a time to tie up loose ends as you near the completion of a cycle or project and mastery of a lesson or skill. Before you can come forward, it's important that you come to terms with where you are now. Practice radical acceptance. Take inventory so that emotional and psychological closure can occur and the answers you seek will be found. You can't move forward if you are leaving things unfinished. Reflect on what has passed so the symphony can finally end on a high note. So interesting message there, especially as far as it did mention to tie up loose ends and wrap things up, right? So for some of you, if you feel like you are that close, then maybe that is asking you to put a little bit more energy there. I still feel like regardless, this is saying that you need to at least take a little bit of time away. Just don't go over the top with that either, right? Okay, the relationship message says moving on is difficult when love lingers, things are left unsaid, and you haven't had the opportunity for closure in your relationship and in your heart. You can still feel bound up in relationships when closure is denied you. It's important to achieve this for yourself. Write that letter, make that call, or have that conversation over a cup of coffee. For peace of mind, accept matters as they are, make amends if need be, and declare your feelings, even if only to yourself. Be clear about what was left unresolved, and close the door in the past so you can set yourself free. Only then can new love blossom. Yeah, I do have to say, with this reading in particular, I really wasn't getting much of a relationship vibe here. Worst case, I will have the love readings out probably next week, so you could keep an eye out for those. But for those of you who were thinking of relationship things, hopefully that resonated. And then a prosperity message says, make sure you complete projects now before starting new ones. Perhaps you have created something special that will increase your sense of abundance and bring you opportunities for wealth. However, if you don't see it through, it won't add up to anything but more clutter. Now is the time to put your nose to the grindstone and complete the tasks that have accumulated. Pay your bills, sign the documents, do your filing, hand in an assignment, complete a work of art. Tie up loose ends so you can move forward with surety, knowing you're on a prosperous path and feeling refreshed and excited about the future. So, interesting message there. I mean, in a way, the card seems to see that same thing, to where you guys are close to a goal of yours. Whereas I was seeing this as saying that you do need to take some time away at least, and like I said, not to overdo that either. But this seems to say get it done first. So I don't know. Hopefully one of those messages resonates with you guys, but the theme overall seems to be very similar. All right, and lastly, we have a Mudra card for you guys. So this is your card here. It's the Chakra Mudra, and the keyword for it is consolidation. And there's the info on it. It says under benefits, centering and grounding improves digestion, assimilation and elimination, reduces gas and bloating, increases vigor and self-confidence. So if that sounds like a mudra you think would be beneficial for you guys, I will put the names in the description of the video as always. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.